And the strikes on Iran have injected more instability into the U.S. economy. And while skyrocketing crude oil prices have pushed gas prices higher, the gas pumps are not the only place that consumers could feel a squeeze. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at how an extended conflict, Karen, could impact households. The attacks have added a new layer of uncertainty here.
Yeah, and gas prices are really the most obvious way consumers have felt this so far, jumping up alongside oil prices in recent days. But energy prices touch a lot of other consumer goods and services. There are shipping costs at stake as well. That's why economists say a prolonged conflict could squeeze households further.
Economists say the impact of the Iran war on the U.S. economy will depend upon how long it lasts.
If instead of 4 weeks, we're talking about 4 months or longer, very different discussion. So duration is key to economic impact.
The conflict in the Middle East has sent crude oil prices soaring, a spike playing out at the gas pumps this week. Meghna Maharishi, airline reporter for Skiff, says higher oil prices could eventually impact the cost of flying.
It is hard to tell how much an increase in jet fuel prices might impact airfares, just because airfares are mostly a product of supply and demand, but jet fuel is definitely a factor.
Covering higher transportation costs, whether by air or truck, impacts companies' bottom lines. The conflict is also prompting shipping vessels to avoid the Strait of Hormuz off Iran's southern coast. Michael Goldman, general manager for North America at Carew Containers, says taking the long way costs more.
We're seeing the routes that ships having to take be much longer, much more costly, going around the Horn of Africa instead of going through the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea. And we're definitely seeing cost increases to the carriers to make those journeys.
Uncertainty about whether companies will increase the price of their goods and boost inflation may encourage the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates steady, delaying relief to American consumers collectively carrying record household debt from higher mortgage, credit card, and auto loan balances.
And the Fed likes to take a wait-and-see approach to these factors that can work themselves into the economy. But the central bank was already about to weigh the uncertainty injected into the economy by the Supreme Court striking down President Trump's emergency tariffs last month. So, Annie, uncertainty on top of uncertainty.
That wait and see really hitting home. Karen, before we let you go, yesterday, the uncertainty around the war really rocked Wall Street. What do the markets look like today? Can you give us a snapshot?
Yeah, a lot more green on the board on Wall Street today, and that's for a couple of reasons. First of all, the Trump administration has said they are going to guarantee safe passage of oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, which of course relieves investors that oil prices won't go up too high. And also the other piece of it was the New York Times reporting that Iran had made indirect contact to perhaps negotiate with the United States to end the conflict. So Wall Street breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief here after yesterday's downward trends, hoping that this conflict will end sooner rather than later.
All right, Karen Kaifa live from Washington. Thank you so much, Karen.